Got a special one for you today. After we posted our video about how Universes Beyond is affecting magic artists, we had magic artist Victor Adame Minguez reach out to us to provide his perspective from a traditional painter's point of view. You might recognize Victor's work from cards such as Atraxa, Praetor's Voice, Morph on the Boundless, and most recently, High Perfect Morcant. Morcant? One of the things that Victor brings up during the conversation that I just wanted to mention here is that the best way for you to support your favorite magic artists is to reach out to them through their websites to get your cards signed. A lot of artists will have forms on their websites for you to get your cards sent in through the mail. They'll sign them for you and send them back. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get to our conversation with magic artist Victor Adame Minguez.
Distraction makers.
We put out a video about Universes Beyond and its effect on magic artists a little while ago. And after that video went up, an artist made a comment in the comment section saying that we were wrong about everything.
Yep. Said, I hate you. You're wrong. I hate everything you stand for.
And so we decided that he should come on the show and tell us that we're wrong. Because that's how things work around here. Okay. Yeah. So welcome, Victor.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, of
course.
course.
Was me. I'm better than you guys. I know what I'm talking about.
See, exactly. I knew it. This is exactly why we needed to have you on here.
But why don't you tell everybody who you are and what you're doing here? I guess.
Yeah, my name is Victor Adame Minguez. I'm a magic artist. I've been a magic artist for 12 years. Yeah, I feel like to understand the context, I need to explain a little bit more of my journey through magic. I started playing magic when I was in middle school, when Fifth Dawn came out. Fifth Dawn. Yeah, it was Onslaught. It was a great time to be playing magic back then. So I grew up with magic, and then I was like, oh, look at the little names on the cards. I could be that. And being from Mexico, there's not a lot of economic mobility. But that was one thing, and I was like, I can do this, and I can do it from home, and I can get paid pretty well, So I did that, and I my career has been magic since. I started playing, and then 10 years later, I started doing magic artwork.
What are the cards that you think people would recognize, maybe, that you've done?
A lot of folks recognize Wolverine.
Right, the newer one, yeah.
Yeah, for better or worse.
We'll get into that.
No foreshadowing.
Atraxa is also a big one.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I think it's funny, though, that you said Wolverine before Atraxa, but yeah.
I think there's a lot of recency.
Sure.
Yeah.
But people, I feel like people are over Atraxa. It's been out there for a while, and there were a lot of haters of Atraxa because of the mechanics, or some people play poison.
That's not your fault, though. That's not.
Well, some folks make me feel like it is my fault. But no, you always get super kind comments of I hate this card, but I love the artwork.
Why don't we talk a little bit about kind of how, when you first sort of got into magic doing art, what was that like for you? Back
then, and to your comment that you made on the previous episode that wizards or magic sells you the dream. And we talked before the episode, I was one of the people that fully bought into the dream. So when you start working for magic, at least when I started, it was, I can't speak of how it is now, obviously. But I got a few cards here and there. They always they ask you hey, are you available? And if so, how many cards can you take? And I was always super eager. I was 5. And they're we'll give you 2. Kind of testing the water, see where your skill level is at, and if you can deliver in time, all those things. So you start kind of growing within the circle of art directors and people in charge of making putting the art on cards. And yeah, you get commissions, you crank them out, and then you start hopefully getting better commissions, and so you start building up that reputation. They start trusting you with more stuff, better stuff too. name characters, like the faces of the game.
How'd those first few commissions go for you? Like you said that they gave you 2.
I got one magic card, which was Bastion Protector, and that was it. And then they didn't call me for like a month. And I thought it was I thought I was out. And then I started getting honestly, that was a rare. And then I started getting like commons and other stuff that didn't even go into the game. Remember they had the story online, or they printed it on books. I did a lot of those images for the story moments. So not like specifically cards, but a lot of those arts. And I was like, oh, I guess that's what I'm doing right now. But no, like later on, I started getting better cards. I think I got a Traxa, it was like my 16th.
Were you at that point? Were you working in oils, or you were working digitally?
No, I was digital. Yeah, I was full on digital. I went to San Diego Comic-Con for the first years, like trying to get into Magic, and because I come from like a traditional school background, like I always painted oils in college, but like seeing all these people use their fancy tablets, and they're industry professionals, so you think, oh, that's what you got to do, right? Like if you want to play with the big boys, you have to get yourself one of these. And so I did, and I kind of like made that transition. Thankfully, like all those skills are kind of transferable back and forth, because I did the switch back right when the market was like exploding, the market for original artwork. It's always been a thing, but it's kind of a recent thing that artists have been able to like capitalize and live off of it. There's like horror stories of back in the day, people had like their paintings in their booths at Grand Prix and stuff, and they were like $200 paintings.
Oh my god, no!
and like big artists, like I spoke to John Abel about it, and he's like, yeah, like I had all my paintings up for sale. No one wanted them, and they were a couple $100.
You started making that transition back to oils after sort of seeing the success of the secondary market. And that's something that we kind of talked about on our episode that you commented on, is that right. Secondary market is kind of what helps justify the continued rates that like Wizards offers for Magic cards. Is because previously it was royalties, and once royalties were no longer accessible, now it's the ability to go and resell your work. And so, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, but like if you have something like a card like a Traxa or something, or like Grist, or like any of these more rare cards or cards that see a lot of play, suddenly that secondary market value for whatever you do, even if you don't work traditionally in it but just sell prints or proofs or whatever, is like a huge boon.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was like around the time that I started to move to the US. And I was like, oh, all my expenses like have not even like increased like tenfold, because I moved to San Diego. So all my expenses started to like just like increase. But also I felt like I reached like a plateau in my digital art career. And I was like, I kind of like want to, and it was like at the right time. But you're right. Like it's always been like kind of like an unspoken thing of like Wizards saying like, we can't pay you this much, but we can give you merch rights. You can do all these things, and we'll give you artist proofs.
What was that like moment for you when you decided to switch?
Although my first paintings, I think I did Disenchant, that sold for like $1,500, something like that. I was like, oh, it's not working out.
and that was done with oils, right?
Yeah, that was an oil painting.
Like $1,500, depending on how much extra effort and work goes into having to go and work on something in oils versus digital. Now, do you feel like the value of you working in oils per card outweighs the extra effort and work?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Well, I've gotten faster over the years, but also I have like a mental number that I'm like, if I make less than 2,500 on a painting, then it's not worth it. So there's that kind of caveat, and like to your comment, there are few people that reach that level. So like, yes, it is a great way for artists to make a lot more money, but only a few of us do that. Like if you look at there's called the MTGR Market page on Facebook, you see the auctions, or there's someone who reports them on Instagram, but I think they only report like the bigger ones. But if you see like most of them, the averages are like 2,000, 3,000. And I guess it's like good for those folks. But like everyone works differently, right? I put like, I'm a very slow artist, very slow to paint, so it has to be worth it.
We did get a little bit of feedback in the last video that I wanted to kind of clarify in terms of some people were looking at the rates that Magic is paying artists and kind of saying like, well, that sounds great to me. But I think people aren't understanding that like the amount of time that it takes to do a painting, right? Like, so for you working in oils, what's like sort of the time investment there?
Yeah, I think I do like 2 weeks.
And that's like working all like, full days.
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
My best year, I think I made like 18 paintings because I worked a lot. And like you do the math, like 18 times 1,500. Actually, I'll do the math. Yeah, that's like 27,000, which is what I told you. That's my paycheck from Hasbro at the end of the year. And like that doesn't even cover rent.
And cost of living like factors into this so much, like where people live and just trying to wrap your head around the idea that like these artists who are like top tier, like you are, making the best work in Magic, and you're just like, if you were only operating under what Wizards of the Coast was paying you, like you'd barely be getting by.
And on top of that, what a lot of people don't consider is that this is contractor pay, right? 32% of that is going to have to go to taxes.
Yeah. And you don't get benefits. You don't get anything.
Right.
Yeah. We pay for our own insurance. My insurance is $700 a month. You pay all your utilities, like all your bills. It costs money to make paintings. It costs, I mean, not a lot, but it does like add up.
To really just hammer the point home that it's like, I think what we're advocating for is that if you are someone that invests an immense amount of time and you are one of the top in your field, right, an incredibly highly sought after artist, you should be making a lot of money.
You should be able to at least live comfortably.
Right, at least live comfortably.
Right. If you're no secondary market, no, just off of what Wizards pays for commissions, you have to supplement some way, basically. That's kind of the reality.
Yeah, and that's always been like the contract is like, yeah, you get secondary market thing, but also like stuff doesn't sell itself. Like you have to like go to these places. Like you can put it up online and you get a couple $100 a month from auto sales for like prints and stuff. But like if you want to do artist groups, if you want to like really cash in on these like secondary things, there's a lot of investment to that and a lot of risk. Like how you were saying about the playmats, like you have to order a lot, you have to store them, you have to ship them. They cost money. They might not sell. I'm sitting on hundreds and hundreds of unsold playmats.
So you sort of switched to oils, right? And you're working through, okay, now I'm in that space and I'm focused more on the secondary market stuff. How was that part of the journey for you, moving into that and then the secondary market?
It was rough at start, and I remember like one collector that's a pretty good friend of mine. He was like pretty blunt with me. He's like you're new. You're like a new guy here. Like no one like wants to basically like invest in you. They don't want to invest in your artwork. Like you got the comments and everyone, but like no one cares. And like that's also like a pretty big like thing about getting all these extra things. Like it doesn't matter if it's not a good card. So I slowed down and I had like the privilege to do so because I lived in Mexico and my rent was like $200. So I could slow down, take my time, really like get in like good work. Yeah, I was before that I was taking 5 commissions per wave, which is like 6 weeks. And after that I started just taking 1 because I really wanted to like do it right. So yeah, my first pieces started selling for like, I don't know, like $1,500, $2,000, stuff like that. And slowly but surely, like I started getting better cards and I started like making better paintings, like a little bit larger ones, and they just started like creeping up. I think my first like big money Yeah, and then I started like like 8,000 stuff like that. They started like going up. But also that was I, st- I s- I did it like at the right time because the market was like changing, and it was 2021. A lot of people had a lot of crypto money. It was post COVID. People were not spending on anything. They wanted art. There were a lot of folks that wanted like secondary investment avenues. They wanted to like buy art for investment. Also, I mean, all these folks like buy it because they love it, but also like if there's something that can appreciate.
There's definitely the investor side of the trading card game space.
So it was like around that time that like it started going well for me, but also like for a lot of folks, I think like my averages before that were like 3,000, and then after that were like 5,000, and now have been consistently around 8,000 per painting.
Did you find that as you were starting to invest more of your time and effort into sort of building up those paintings, right, going above and beyond per image? Obviously, it sounds like you were rewarded in the secondary market for doing that, but did you find that Wizards sort of also rewarded in suit? Like, were you then given higher rare cards or legendaries or mythics or whatever to go along with that? Or every now and then was it still very much out of your control and you'd be thrown a common or a token or something like that?
So that's an interesting thing, because I don't know how it works. It does, like, yeah, your performance or like how better your paintings are doesn't like translate in a one-to-one to what kind of commissions you get. I feel like a lot of it is visibility. There's times where, a new art director comes in and they don't know you, and they start giving you comments. Like that for me happened around, the second Ravnica. A new art director came in and I was like, oh, you're new to me. And I started getting comments. I got one Ajani, green, white Ajani that no one plays. But that was my digital time. So I feel like it's still kind of like that. Like I haven't like really figured out what is. I know it's visibility. There's like a lot of visibility in like your relationship with the art director, like how much they trust you. But I feel like there's just so many of them that communication can get lost. That like, and they keep like hiring new ones all the time, and they're like, oh, so you're a new guy to me. I'm gonna give you this, and you see like the opposite as well. Like brand new artists get amazing cards. So there's none of that linearity, that ladder.
There's a lot of variance between who's giving you the piece, what rarity it's going to be, whether or not it's going to be playable. And then you're trying to figure out, okay, well, how much do I invest time-wise in this painting? Because I just don't know whether it's like where it's going to fall in terms of like, is it going to be that rare? Is it going to be that mythic? And then if you had some kind of understanding early on, not saying you'd like phone it in or anything, but like you might change, how much you're going to invest in a piece. The artist that comes to mind for me, was it Jason Rainville?
Yeah, I was just going to bring this up. The Storm the Seed Core
where
painting.
He does this incredible painting with like, 6 to 8 different figures in it. And there's flowing fabric and all this stuff. And it ends up on a common.
It was an uncommon.
Was it uncommon?
I think.
Like,
I think it was a common.
Okay. And so like, it's weird because that painting probably took him 100 hours and it doesn't end up doing, I don't know if it did anything on the secondary market or not, but like, because it's not notable, like investing that amount of time, you sort of feel like, well, the payoff I thought I might get, I now am not getting. What was sort of your peak then, you think? Not that you've peaked as an artist. I just mean like, what has been the peak, the peak moment,
high school,
the peak moment so far for you in Magic?
Wow, look at these passive aggressive jabs coming out.
No.
I was prom king in high school.
That's it. That's the end.
Captain of the team. That's what
biggest moment for you so far with Magic.
Yeah. I feel like right now, I'm very confident to say that right now, and like I don't want to feel like I'm just defending Universes Beyond, but like to like comment on the previous video, like I do have like a lot of positives that happened for us for Universes Beyond. Like I wouldn't be there's a lot to unpack here. But like one, I wouldn't be painting these characters if it wasn't for Universes Beyond, or like maybe I would, but famously Marvel is known to pay very little for covers, and the secondary market for paintings there, it's based on who you are, like what your name is and your reputation. So that's like another 10-year career that I would have to like build up. And because I'm a magic artist, like I get my magic collectors, but also comic book collectors like fighting over the piece, and that makes it go up in price. But also I get to paint these characters, and I get, I get magic rates, which is great.
Do you feel that, because you brought up Marvel, and Marvel was kind of a unique situation when it came to Universe Beyond, because we could sell originals, right? If you did a traditional sketch or a painting, you could sell it. But in the case of like Lord of the Rings, to me, I feel like Lord of the Rings was kind of the biggest tragedy of Universe Beyond, because so much traditional work was done for that. And there's so many paintings that would have sold for an insane amount if artists were given the opportunity to sell them.
Well, the thing that folks need to remember is that Wizards of the Coast is a very big ship, and it takes a lot and a long time to steer the ship. So I've seen these changes coming from like, when was like Magic 30, like 2021?
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Like all these changes happening to like the secondary market and the Marvel pieces, like I was talking about it to other folks like back then. So there could have been like, because Marvel allows that, like, no matter what, they do that for their own stuff. They do that for their own covers, but like, I don't know if they had like enough time to negotiate that with the Tolkien estate. Like, I'm not saying like I know anything about the future. Like, I don't.
Why don't we go back a little bit to when you first started getting your first like Universes Beyond projects, and like talk through kind of your sort of decisions there, right? Like what was the impact for you?
I mean, it was great. Like, if you look up the Wolverine painting, like this is like public knowledge. It sold for $50K. Mm-hmm. And that's been like my top selling painting. You were talking about the D&D stuff. And like we refer that as like the 2021 hump, which was like a weird time. Like everything was going up for so much money. And then kind of like the market evened out, like it kind of corrected itself. But Grist was part of like that, still like that end of the wave of like everything's selling for a lot of money. But then having something like Wolverine that goes for so much, like after prices stabilized, like that was great. Honestly, I still want to be like doing more Magic, because like how I mentioned in the start of the episode, like I grew up with Magic. Like I played Magic for the longest time. I just stopped playing, but like that's where that's what I love. Like I love Magic's unique universes. Like I've even done concept work for 3 sets: Amonkhet, Dragons of Tarkir, and Lost Caverns of Ixalan. And that was great. Like I love Magic. I want to be doing more Magic work. Sadly, like sometimes like I can't afford to make more Magic work. Like if I have like a Wolverine versus a nondescript Magic piece, I'm like, well, I need to think about like, my living situation, my family. Like I'm going to take the sure thing, even though I love this thing. And that's when like kind of have to have like a thought change of like, well, I need to like make my own artwork that I love, like not just so much rely on Magic. And that was like the change for me.
It's difficult, I think, to justify at this point, like whether you should invest the time to do in-universe Magic sets, even if that's something that maybe you'd personally prefer, versus if you do happen to have a Universe Beyond thing. Like let's say, I don't know because I'm not in the space anymore, but like let's say the Hobbit set comes out and Wizards did negotiate rates to be able to sell traditional versions of that, and they reprint the One Ring, right? And someone happens to work on the One Ring, like that's a huge worthwhile investment. But do you find that like, is it still worth investing that time in anything in Universe Beyond if you don't have that guarantee of a secondary market exchange?
No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you one thing that I started doing, which was I like for the longest time I was so afraid, which is turn down commissions. But like it feels bad. I feel bad. I kind of want to be a nice guy. Like I want to do all they ask me. But at one point, like I need to think about myself too. And a great example was High Perfect Morcant or Morcant. My previous commission was something else. I didn't like really like vibe with the character that much. I wanted to do something Lorwyn, and that's not a Lorwyn character. So I told the art director, like, yeah, I can't take this. Like, I'm so limited on time. This might be my only Lorwyn commission. And they're like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll give you something more Lorwyn-y. And so it paid off. Like, I got more Kant and
knocked a piece out of the park.
So many comments on the feet.
Nah, how long did it take you to paint the feet though? Like,
yeah, that's really what we're having you here for.
You're like detailing. Is that what's
all right, let's pull out the art directors because we brought the art directors here and we're going to get these details right.
Was it rounds of feedback on the feet or was it?
Ironically, the same art director that was Morcant was the same art director that gave me Balluna.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna develop a reputation, I think. So if you're not careful here.
It's a brand,
right?
So I feel like, yeah, like to your previous comment, yeah, there's, if the art director knows you, they like your work, how can I say this without sounding creepy?
It's tough.
I feel like cut around it. It's okay. Don't worry.
They like what they know what you like to paint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
thematically or the kind of characters.
Oh no!
Listen, man, I do what the fans want.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. It's definitely what the fans want.
You're a man of the people. That's all it is.
Look, I expected like some comments. Some. Like, I'm still pretty innocent on the internet aspect of things.
Look,
but
you'll be able to sell prints forever. It'll be great. No problem.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, Universes Beyond, it does matter. I have turned down a couple of commissions that I feel like wouldn't, if it's not creatively fulfilling, if it's not financially fulfilling. Ideally, you want to have both. And like I was telling you before the show, like if I'm not being fulfilled creatively, I rather do my own stuff.
And is that like on a per like property basis? Because like it sounds like you're kind of into Marvel, but like maybe not Ninja Turtles.
The only other two that I've done was Street Fighter, and that's because I love Street Fighter. I used to play it all the time as a kid. So I feel like I would say yes to like some properties because I like them, because like I owe them to my inner child. Like if they offered me Power Rangers, I would take it in a split second.
It's interesting to see that there's like Universes Beyond working in a similar way that it works on players to the way that it works on like artists are kind of in this similar, sounds like in a similar place where if you care a lot about the property, then you're on board. But if you don't, maybe you're kind of like, I don't know. It's like, something I didn't grow up with or whatever, that there's an additional decision that's being made there, where with regular Magic stuff, I think generally speaking, you'd kind of like, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you would kind of pick up any like Magic property would be A-okay for you, right? It's just Universes Beyond is... No, it depends on the set. Okay.
Oh, okay. So did you have cards in Aether Drift?
Well, okay. Look, I was not counting the last couple-ish years. Okay, all right, you're right. Fair.
0 in Aether Drift.
Yeah.
0
I'll blame you on
why?
Yeah. That was a big thing for me. It was Thunder Junction. Like people that see my artwork online know that I love Western stuff, and just the lack of native people for me did it, or a native faction, that they were not like represented correctly, and I was like, no, I don't want anything to like, I don't want to have like deal with it. Whereas like Ixalan, right, Lost Caverns of Ixalan, like I worked on the concept stuff. There were a lot of things that we like pushed to like get in, like the gods. The art director, who is from Guatemala, as well as me, like we know that stuff. Like we grew up with that stuff, so we were like advocating for, like the red one that I did was like so weird and creepy, and some folks were like, we're not sure about that, and we're like, no,
this is it, guys. Trust me. Yeah.
Those things were like weird and creepy.
That's rad. Yeah.
So yeah, there's that, but it's kind of like a negotiation, and I don't think like a lot of artists just have like that extra to like kind of like move around, like navigate this like situation of like, okay, I'm not going to take these, I'm going to take these ones, or also don't have the knowledge of what they're getting, because like very few people play the game, very few artists play the game. So they don't understand, or they have agents that tell them like, yeah, this is a good card, this is a bad card. But it's just like one extra thing to like know, to like navigate.
Artists are in this position similar to maybe how you started. I know I started the same way. Like I didn't want to turn down any cards at all. I just wanted to keep accepting cards, as many cards as possible, because I really, really liked working for Magic. It's what I always wanted to do. And I wanted to be a good worker, good commercial artist. And it wasn't really until I either got higher paying clients or I started kind of seeing what the secondary market is all about, that started to open up my eyes a little bit. And I realized that actually, I don't think I need to accept 5 of these commissions if instead I could just work for either someone that's going to give me a guaranteed higher flat rate, or I start tapping into that secondary market. But I'm worried about this sort of wave of artists that are coming in because of Universes Beyond that might sort of end up being stuck on a treadmill that they can't then sort of grow out of, in a sense. Where I think if you know, in order to get to the status that you've achieved, or like Chris Ron or Ryan Pankos, or like some of these larger, more notable Magic artists, I think you have to be able to tap into that secondary market. And it's really difficult when you're tied to these other IPs that you don't really have much agency over.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people don't want to like move up, and that's fine. Like a lot of people just get like, and I'm like, maybe I'm talking from like a point like a perspective of, or like from a place of privilege. Because yeah, we're very privileged to like be able to turn down work, because I know that if I turn down that work, like I can do something else, or I can make the same money on the same time, just like doing artist group sketches and just selling them online. A lot of people live in different countries, right? So they're perfectly fine getting like, $2,500 in their country is a lot of money. So they're like fine doing that. If someone is like in the position that I was at, yeah, it's really tough, because like I don't have like a clear, there's no like a clear way, like I said before, like of climbing that ladder. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, and I mean like be as like polite, but like kind of like recognize your worth, and don't be afraid to ask. Because, our directors are people, and they're great people. And so, like, if you ask something, like, the worst thing that they can say is no. But maybe it's not because they don't want to, and, they're, like, their hands are tied, or, like, they have, like, other stuff. But, like, ask what you want, like, what kind of commissions do you want to get? And, like, eventually you'll get them, if the art director, like, reminds them. But, like, being constant communication, like, learn how to write better emails. That's a big part. I feel like being personable is a skill, and being personable online through emails is another skill. Like, don't come off as like arrogant and entitled, but be like, hey, I kind of want this kind of commissions. And it's scary knowing that like you said, like you're taking everything, because you're starving artist. You don't know when the next paycheck is going to come in.
Sort of from the independent artist perspective, diversifying, you kind of mentioned that earlier, right? Like this idea that I think it's tough for an artist to just have like one client, right? And I think even with the Universes Beyond stuff, especially with when there might not be that avenue for growth, like you're mentioning, that exploring other options is, I think, more important now than ever, especially with AI, especially with just everything that's going on in the space, that like understanding that in order to sort of be an artist now, at least speaking from my perspective, it's always been a sort of like an ecosystem, right? A totality of all of the different things that you're doing.
Yeah, because I can't tell people like, do what I did and spend 12 years, building up a career. That's a tough thing to ask of people. But like, yeah, AI stuff. If I would recommend something to folks starting magic artwork or just like artwork in general, is try to experiment with traditional mediums. I feel like there's a lot of pushback when it comes to technology. Folks are going back to vinyls. Like I got an MP3 player because I don't want to pay for Spotify. So you kind of like people are reverting to like analog. And so that's a thing too, especially with AI. I feel like a lot of companies, I don't feel like a lot of companies have started using AI for artwork. And it's, it's sad to see, but there's still folks out there that want to buy a painting, that want to buy something handmade.
Well, I think AI is probably going to have the biggest effect on like the emerging artists, like the artists starting out, because the sort of $100, $200 commissions that like you may have gotten at that point in time, those people are just using AI now. So like in order for you to like get from that sort of $100, $200 commission to like magic level, it's like a chasm, right? It's going to take a long time, especially if like those jobs just aren't there. So it's like a whole nother conversation. But I was
gonna say, we've kind of discussed this a little bit, that I think what's going to end up happening, this is I guess like speculating a little bit on the future direction of artistry, I guess, commercial art. But it feels like what might end up happening is, as there's a huge bloat of AI that's being thrown into the industry, that we might actually see more unique artists and unique styles start to crop up, because people are going to, I think, find more interest in that, because it's harder for AI to replicate those specific styles, because it can't be fed into an algorithm.
Victor, have you experienced anything with AI at this point, or is it you seem untouched because you're in this like traditional realm that I think is
I'm in a bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean only like secondhand through like folks that I know, or just like reading experiences from people that basically, yeah, like it's mostly artists starting out that just get replaced outright by AI.
I wanted to ask, because we, you touched on it, but we haven't talked too much about it. But the majority of people that watch us don't watch us because we're artists. They watch us because we talk about gameplay and playing Magic and all that stuff. So how much do you feel like you playing Magic, like obviously you were able to carry those traits, and that was able to help a lot with you once you started doing art for Magic. So how much do you feel that has influenced how you handle like executing on a card, or how you handle when you read a brief or something for a card that you're going to illustrate?
Yeah, when I played Magic, like in the heyday, like I was super excited. Like I wanted to like do cards that I play, and like I wanted to be proud, like my friends were playing the cards, and I wanted to like be proud of the artwork that I did. It helps to like know the mechanics. I suggest to artists to like at least know, like you don't have to like learn how to play the game like full on, but like understand what the cards do, how like the game functions on a like base level. I feel like that helps out a lot. Like it's not going to get you like better jobs, right? Like if you do good artwork, like you're going to get good stuff. But it does help out, like understanding. Sometimes you get a token card. Like I think like one of my proud moments was Divine Visitation, when they told me the mechanics, and gladly they didn't change it. And I was like, oh, they turn into the birds turn into angels. So yeah, you can tie the artwork via storytelling better if you know like what's going on. Obviously, like the art directors will tell you, like if a creature has flying, they'll tell you like it has to have wings or it has to have some form of mechanism to help it fly. But yeah, I suggest that like artists need to like understand like just a little like the base level of the game.
Let's just, I guess, cap off the Universes Beyond stuff and make sure that you got to all the stuff that you wanted to get to with it. So is there anything hanging out there still with the Universe Beyond side of things?
My main thing was like, I don't think like the rates are unreasonable. And I kind of have like hopes that Magic is going to do the right thing. Because what's happening with Universes Beyond, and what you were saying in the episode, I feel like they're both symptoms of the same thing, or they're both like consequences of the same thing. Like I don't know what it is, or I don't want to say what it is.
Money. I'll say it's money.
Money.
It's money. But like, isn't it funny? Like I have like all these conversations all the time, and it always ends up in like capitalism. Kind of, it's a tough cookie. But like I think like the rates are great. Like they didn't have to bump up the pay rate, but they did, and I really appreciate that. And like also getting not getting playmats or prints or artist proofs. Sometimes it's like kind of meaningless if your card's a common. So like if you do a common and you get like, you're gonna get more money than you would ever get. Like we were saying, like you go to MagicCon, like you don't sell like a lot of prints of that common card, if at all. Like I think I sell like the same thing or like 10 things over and over and over. And all my commons, like they're just like I just got my flat fee, and even though I have all these rights, like I don't make any secondary sales. So I do feel like it is good as long as it stays like that. And like I said before, like I'm sure that folks at Wizards are trying to negotiate better terms for artists. Like they have been doing that in the past. It's just a matter of convincing, the shareholders that, this pay cut for you guys is going to be good. Trust me. But like they have been doing that. Like I know you mentioned in the previous episode that the playmats we have to go through Ultra Pro. Well, before that we didn't have any playmat rights, right? Like that was negotiated through Wizards of the Coast. Like they negotiated that with Hasbro to give us playmat rights. So I am optimistic because I know that they want to do the right thing. Or at least they want to look like the good guys. If like I don't know, but like at least they want to like look like the good guys. And I feel like public perception is a big deal when it comes to that. Just like folks talking, like you guys on the previous episode.
Yeah, I think that people, I don't know, don't treat the situation totally fairly. And I think even how we talk about it, I think some people might misinterpret our impression of things, that like we don't think that everyone at Wizards is out to suddenly, they're not all money hungry, trying to make sure that they're saving every cent possible. There's so many people at Wizards that are trying to advocate for artists, that are trying to get people more pay, get people in all positions more pay if this entire card game is blowing up into $1 billion thing. Like obviously there's money for them to spread and share around.
Maybe.
Well, unless Hasbro's taking it all.
No.
But,
interesting.
But what do you think it would take? And personally, and maybe I don't know. Maybe this is like too much of a question. So let me know if you don't feel comfortable. But like, what do you think would be that turning point then? I guess to have artists get more rates, because there's been attempts at this in the past, but I feel like it's very difficult unless there's some sort of like a mass exodus of artists, right? Unless every top artist or something at Magic suddenly left. And even then, I don't know if at that point it would be enough for Wizards to leverage that and get Hasbro on board.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. They would just get other people. So like even if the top artists left, like the quality is like negligible between like the top and So I feel like it wouldn't make like a huge dent on the game. What would it take? Like honestly, I don't know. Like there's ways that they can pay us more without like actually investing more money into it, like without like spending a single dollar. Like what I talked about, like giving us better commissions that like immediately translate into better rates without like having to actually pay us more. If you proved yourself, if you've done good work, if you are on time with your assignments, then you get the better cards. And I feel like that was like kind of lost at one point. And also there's just so many sets going on at the same time, and so very little people working on them. So, and also like the turnaround, the art director turnaround, it's crazy. So I don't know if that's like a realistic thing, but it could happen. You mentioned in the previous episode, like what's a good way to support magic artists. Honestly, signatures, what we talked about before the episode, like signatures are a great way to support us, and they don't cost you a lot of money. A lot of us do it through the mail. If you don't want to go to a MagicCon or one of these events, you can use like one of those. If you go to an artist website, they'll have the link for the service that we use, and you can get your card signed through the mail. And it's not a lot of money, but like it does add up, and it's a great supplement for us, and it tells us that you like our work.
I also think it's actually very helpful for artists that are interested in pursuing more of the secondary market, because it's a good indicator as to, especially if you're not familiar with the game, as to what cards you've done that are most popular. And so seeing like if I didn't know anything about the game and I saw I had an influx of Dockside Extortionists or whatever coming in, then I would know like, okay, that's my most popular thing. I should prepare to, bring that to a MagicCon or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do think it's like a bad situation, but like I said, it's a very big ship. I do feel like things are kind of like keeping up. I'm not gonna say like it's getting better for artists, because we've always been like a marginalized group, like us and teachers. They've always treated us wrong. But I feel like with Magic, like they're at least like trying to like maintain a industry standard, and for whatever reason, like it keeps happening. So, one thing is I was just gonna say the screenshot cards; those are just terrible.
Well,
oh my God.
It feels like, I think we've talked about this in an episode before. I can't remember which one it would have been, but what Wizards can essentially do, what a lot of card games do, is they test the boundaries to where they feel that drop off in sales based off of a quality of investment in artwork. And there's a turning point there, right? Where eventually artwork and how it's presented on a card will be bad enough that there will be a drop off in sales. But because Wizards sort of started almost at the top in a sense, especially being first on the market as a TCG, like they never had to test the waters for that, because that was always their standard that was set. But now, like, there's so many sets coming out, there's so many cards coming out. I think that in general, like they need as many artists as possible, that like those same standards aren't going to be completely met. And this isn't dissing any artists or anything like that. I'm not trying to, but I'm just being realistic about this.
Well, and when you try to ramp up that way, you're going to have to try to get a bunch more artists on board quickly, and you don't have as much time to develop relationships with the best artists, and it just takes time.
I mean, something that I really, really admired was that my first card, Cynthia Shepard, was an art director still at the time. And that was the only card that I had an insane amount of feedback, that I had a panic attack, but also was really appreciative, because she wasn't mean or anything. She was very, very, factual. She was very kind, but told me like, this is what we want. This is what you need to work on and all that. And I took all that to heart. And like, I just don't think they'd have the time for that anymore. No one has the time to go and sit down and help someone through that.
Yeah, no, they don't. There's just so many people, so many artists, when, like what they said, when Rome started to expand, you had to like create like all the roads and all the irrigation and all that stuff. But like, there's like a point where, your thing becomes so massive that like there's just like cracks everywhere. You can't like there's, I mean, I'm sure there is a right way to like maintain quality and still grow like that. Maybe it's like putting more money into that sort of thing, but also like if there's not like player feedback to that, then like what you said, Gavin, like they're going to keep doing it. I feel like we're seeing like a turning, like we're going to see like something done about the screenshot cards. I feel like players have voiced their opinion enough about them that something's going to happen. Like not yet, but like they have done. If we look at the gimmick sets, I call them gimmick sets. I don't know what people call them. The Thunder Junction and
sure, yeah.
Hat sets,
Hat sets,
yeah,
yeah, hat sets. Like now with Lorwyn, they're like, oh, okay, maybe people didn't like that much. We can, kind of pivot.
If they're doing less in-universe sets, odds are, hopefully, that the quality of those sets gets to be higher. They get to spend more time on the in-universe sets, but who knows? They're pumping so much stuff out. But one thing I did want to get to, Victor, before we're probably getting pretty close to wanting to wrap up here, but I want to talk a little bit about your outside of Magic work, right? You're focused on these sort of Western. It feels so 80s sci-fi fantasy inspired, where like you have the sort of cowboy dinosaur aesthetic, I think. It's so interesting to me. So I was wondering if you had, just if you wanted to talk about any of that.
Yeah, that was because I always liked that stuff. I always liked that aesthetic, like Mobius and a lot of Ghibli films. One of my favorite books series is The Dark Tower by Stephen King, and I feel like it's kind of like westerny and weird in a cool way. So I always wanted to like do something like that, and I really like the work of American Western artists, both in the past and contemporary. So I started doing that, but also like I had a story that I wanted to tell, and I was like, oh, this story like really fits the world that I'm doing with my painting. So I kind of like took a step back from doing the paintings, and I'm just working on the story, which is why like I haven't done a lot of the Western stuff lately. So it's coming out in book form. Is
it kind of going to be a little bit like a la Dinotopia, James Gurney-ish, where it's like a story with accompanying illustrations?
Yeah, it's going to be like that, because at first I wanted to do a comic book, and everyone was like, don't do a comic book.
You're gonna oil paint every panel, like, perfect.
Look,
yes.
It might be creatively very fulfilling, but it'll financially a disaster.
Well, like Black Sad is like every panel is watercolor. It's incredible. Like, but it took forever.
Yeah, they're like, if you want to do it within your lifetime. And I was like, but Alex Ross did it in his stuff. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the illustrated book.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, anything else we need to touch on, I think?
No, just thank you for having me. I love the show. I love the conversations, and I really appreciate that you took time to read my comment and wanted to like chat.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Anytime you want to come back on, we'll have you on again, especially like as this project, you're sort of working on that. We'd love to, stay in touch and get updates from you as you're working on that. And I assume you're probably working up to maybe a Kickstarter or something, maybe. And
I need to finish the book first.
Well, sure.
No, that's not always how Kickstarters work.
Yeah. Finish a book first. No, you can just put it up there. Yeah.
Just say you're working on it and then collect the money. That's always a safe bet.
But no, we really appreciate you coming on and setting us straight about the Universes Beyond stuff, and keep painting the feet. We love it. Yeah. So
there's going to be feet in the book, right? Like there has to be.
100%.
Okay.
Is it a book only about feet? Because I think that would do really well.
For a specific audience.
And it's not what I want to do.
Well, that's too bad.
Please stop talking about it.
You might be the feet guy now after High Perfect. I don't know.
Oh no.
Well, thanks.
Well, that'll wrap up our conversation with magic artist Victor Adame Minguez. Make sure you're also reaching out to your favorite magic artist to get your cards signed. You can do so through most artist websites, or if you see them at a magic convention. Like and subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.